Mossberg, Montana.
Yes.
What's going on, man?
Can't complain, man. Living life one day at a time, man.
That's dope. I know we've been friends for a couple of years now, man. Glad to have you on the podcast.
Yes.
And you know, I mean, a lot of people know who Mossberg, Montana is as an artist, but they don't know who Corey Johnson is. Yeah. And I think we just kind of want to dive in, man, and just kind of see, you know, hear your story and just kind of go from there.
Okay. When it comes to Corey Johnson, it's so much more like outside of just music. Like, I'm a truck driver, I'm a father. Yes, I love music. Music always was my thing, but there's so much more to me. I started making music when I was like 9. I think 9 or 10. I had some twins who live across the street from me. They were very music inclined, and I just picked it up. I love the freestyle. I started off freestyling, and then I met this guy who brought a beat machine around. And when I saw this beat machine, I was like, oh, this is something different. And my ear just went to music and went from there, you know.
Were you an artist first and then you became a producer?
Yes, I was an artist first. Freestyling, I never got a chance to go to the studio, but I used to like to freestyle with my friends. And I think around maybe like 10, 11, or 12, that's why I was introduced to the beat machine. And I was playing around with that. And then I think we got a Korg keyboard. I think it's Korg keyboard, and making beats from that. And then when Fruity Loops came around, that was it.
That's it, yeah. That's cool. And so you were basically an artist first, then you were a producer. And when did you, like, I guess, what started your career? Like, you started making beats, and then did you just start, like, emailing people, or did you, like, how did that all work back in the day?
I think MySpace was very popular. So if you remember MySpace, you could have put your tracks on the top. So it was like 6 or 7 tracks. So I used to put my beats out there, and people were just grabbing to it. MySpace was actually a very good social thing to, like, network with people back. I wish it didn't take it off, but anyways, people were getting some beats today, and I remember the first time I made $40. My first beat sale was $40, and I think it was Mail from Lab Junkies, and he came and he was like, "Hey, I like your beats. You know how much you charge for beats?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I guess just enough for me to get a little smoking a hamburger or something like that."
So can you say that? So after Lab Junkies, that's when you really.
Oh yes, definitely yes. Like
Bounce, right?
The first beat wasn't Bounce. It was like another beat that I had on MySpace. He probably would tell you more than me, but once Bounce that really hit, and it was a remade beat from KE on the track. KE on the track was the original producer of it who made it. Lil C had like 6 beats from KE on the track. When he came back down, and we just needed to remake the beat, they gave me the opportunity to do it, and it sticked, you know, and took off.
So how long after y'all made that album did it really like catch on?
The crazy thing about it, they already had the song hot. They used to do like house parties.
Right.
You know, you remember, So they were already performing and already had the house party. They already had the community already hot on the song. So by the time they noticed that when they took it from the community to the club and they was getting the same reaction, I think that made them make it a little bit more serious. So they were like, all right, we really need to do this right. Because I think the original song was recorded in the house. So by the time I remade the beat, they went to the studio and did the song the right way, and it took off.
What was your first actual placement with a larger?
Pee Wee Longway.
Pee Wee Longway.
Pee Wee Longway, yes.
What song?
It's called Eminem's. It's off his first album.
I think I remember that. I think I do remember that song.
That was a crazy story.
I'm a Pee Wee
fan. You're a Pee Wee? Yes, off the first song.
A little bit, not like a diehard fan.
Me neither. But I honestly wouldn't have been my selection of the first artist I worked with. But I was in Atlanta and I saw Dirty Dave truck. Remember, Dirty Dave used to have the truck. So I thought I never worked with him personally. But hey, I'm from Charleston. I'm in Atlanta. You know. So I saw him, and it was this guy named 2 Official and Dollar from Player Circle. Player Circle had Titty Boy and Dollar. And he was like, "What your name is?" I was like, "Mossberg." He was like, "Oh, I just heard your song on the radio. They've been talking a lot about you." And we built that relationship, and he put me in the studio with them guys, and we just started working, and just like that, you know.
So what can you say was your biggest or most influential, like, to you?
It's a couple of different things because, like, I would say I have one with Pastor Troy and Snoop. And really, for my mom to know who Snoop was and for Snoop to be affiliated with Tupac, that meant a lot to me. You know, gotcha. So that felt good, just knowing, like, hey, this is somebody who, a legend who passed. Tupac could be one of the best rappers alive, you know? Right. So for me to even have an opportunity for one of my beats to be rapped on with affiliate of him, that meant a lot. But I had a couple moments. I remember Raphael James came to my mom's house when we did the Chicken. That I felt good because my mom, she's a great supporter, but she was always more on 401k and 9 to 5, and I'll knock her for that.
That makes
but that, she saw me making the money, but she was just more taught of, I don't really understand having your own business. You should get a job. And when she saw Raphael James, I think that's the first time she was like, okay, if you could do this music thing, do it. If you can do it, do it. She still owned me a little bit, but she was like, that's the first time I saw her relaxed a little bit. And I'm like, okay, my son really doing something.
So when you started making beats, how many years was it before you got that placement, or you got your first actual placement?
Jordan, I'm making beats for a while.
I know. Been a minute.
I like to start when FL Studio started. I got put on FL Studio when I was like about 18 or 19.
So it was like Fruity Loops.
Fruity Loops. Yeah, it was like Fruity Loops 2 or 3.
2 or 3?
Yeah, like 2 or 3.
I started on 4,
crazy.
so
yeah, it looked crazy. So I started. I was 18. My first placement might have been when I was like about 23 or 24, something like that. So it was about a couple of years, about 6 years.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And you guys were talking about the chicken thing. I do remember you did the chicken challenge, and that exploded in Charleston, dude. That thing was crazy. I even did it. I don't even remember.
Yes, that went
I was just joking. I was in the studio, and I was like, all right, hey, you know what? Let me write a quick little 16 real quick.
I didn't even know you did it.
I didn't know
I
that
did.
for real.
Yeah.
Send that to me.
Yeah, I need to see that for real.
Hey,
Nah, for real.
It's pretty funny.
He got another song, bro, like that.
oh, Jordan got songs for days.
Yeah,
like,
For real.
yes.
Okay, that's dope. That's dope.
That's dope.
So I hear you keep you mention your mom, like she seems to be like, a real support system for you,
Yes, I would say yes. I don't even want to turn my face like that, but her support is more like, it was more of, I wanted a point to prove. She comes from a time where I guess it's kind of different to see musicians really be popular and really make money off it. So in her mind, she's thinking stability, like what every mom would want. Every mom wants to see the stability and see that, like, hey, my son go to college and get a job. And I don't have no problem with college. I'm actually want to start in January, actually. But at that time right there, it was just straight music. Like, once I started making money and it started making sense, I was like, this is what I want to do. I love it. It makes sense. It's easy to me. Why not? Right. So that was my headspace at that time.
A creative, like a natural creative. That's dope.
And you were saying in January, you said you're starting in college?
Yes.
What are you doing?
Hospitality entrepreneurship.
Oh, cool.
Yes,
and what are you hoping to gain, I guess, from that?
Well, I went into really wanting to do business, and he swayed me to go to that side. He asked me 3 questions. He was like, hey, it's a 3 circle, and I don't know the third one, but he said, what do you like to do? What comes easy to you? And then it's something else. But when you get all 3 of those circles together, that's when you hit your sweet spot. So it's basically like, what are you good at? It's something like that. I don't want to get it misconstrued on the mic, but basically I told him, I was like, hey, I'm a truck driver, of course. I have my CDL, but do I love it? I'm not too sure. But it comes a little easy to me. Now, music, I love music all day, but the money, it goes up and down. It's like seasons with everything else, but he was kind of leaning me towards music, which was surprising. Because I was telling him, like, hey, I like real estate. My best friend is an electrician. I can do that too. But he was like, with the hospitality, I can actually show you how to, like, deal with customers, have policies. I never had policies. And me and him was talking about that. I had a situation where, and not against the guy, but I sent him a beat. It was like 3 months ago, and he lost the beat. And me and him really had got into it. And I just was like, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and just make this beat over because this is just too much. But I felt like I was fighting with the struggle of it because this is my time of the day. That's your responsibility. And he was like, this is where policy comes in. You can go ahead and put out a policy and be like, hey, once I send you this beat, you got a week, and I'm not responsible. And that's one thing I never even thought about having policies when it came to, beats and sales and stuff like that. So he was just telling me different things that I can learn from it. So I was like, I like this course. Like, so I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I've noticed very similar like with the studio is when I started taking deposits, things changed. I mean, people got a lot more serious about their music.
Yes.
So having policies in place, I mean, for sure.
That's what got me stuck to that. That's why I was like, I'm gonna take this course because he's teaching me things outside of what I'm already good at to make it more business friendly, but also not being able to get rolled over.
Right. So you're still gonna stay within kind of the music aspect of things.
Okay. Yeah.
So I remember, we were talking earlier, and, some of the things that you were saying that, you are doing with your life now versus what we're talking about. You feel me? It seems like a complete, 180.
Yes.
You feel me? So
Yes.
what is the difference and what brought the change, you know? Like and why?
I heard a sermon one day, and the sermon told me, like, you have 3 things that you need to do. But the second thing was use your gift for God. And that stuck out the most. I think the first was, I know it was help somebody heal. That was the third. And I can't remember the first one. But when I heard use my gift for God, I didn't know any other way other than music. You know, I was struggling with music as far as the artist side for a while. Like, I seemed like I mimic a certain style. I mimic something. And when I had kind of gotten this lane, it was the first time I felt free. I felt like nobody couldn't tell me nothing. I felt like I sound like myself. I wasn't trying to sound like Rod Wave. Like, I wanted to be free. And then I got more excited once I started hearing my peers saying that they like it. Like, oh, this is dope. So I just wanted to be original and be myself.
Right.
You know, and then if I can put a smile on God's face, that's cherry on the top, you know? So that's where I'm at.
Was there like a breaking point that brought this on? Like where was the change? Like what like what happened?
To make a
Basically-
change, exactly. Yeah.
Basically, my spiritual journey. I moved to Charlotte like maybe 2 years ago, and like I was just to a point that I was just kind of tired of the same cycles I had going on. Like I had a lot of like demons and battles I was dealing with outside that a lot of people didn't know, and I wanted to make a drastic change. You know, like so, like in the midst of doing that and being in that world of going to church, hearing sermons, hearing motivational speeches, like it's going to change every way how you look, from being a father, being a producer, being a son, being like everything. So I just started to look at every aspect of be like, okay, now that I'm using the energy of God, how can I apply this to everywhere in my life? And when it came to music, and I always make people laugh, God was like, do the music. I was like, God, I'm be a little ratchet with this music now, but I'm not gonna curse, but like I am going to play around with different styles and different beats. And I promise you, I felt like he was like, go with it. Okay, if you notice, if you listen to my music, I'm not typically the Christian hip hop that's going on. Like it's almost like I can blend with regular music or regular trap music, but my message is straight God. So once he gave me the AOK, I was like, bet, you know, and I took off with it since.
Yeah, it's super unique.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
You recently just released a song, God Made a Way for Me.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that, man. The writing process, like what, you know, where did that, I guess, idea really come from?
Well, I was already in the land for a while. I was working with a couple of close friends of mine, Lamar, Mike Burner, Miz, and I was already working with them for a while, just doing songs. And I was recently coming back from Charlotte, and I heard this artist out here named Friday. And I love the way how he delivered, like he uses Afro beats a little bit, and I love the way how he's I think it's called baritone. You know how he do that, so that's what's called baritone.
Baritone's like a lower,
The lower
low pitch,
way.
yeah.
So like when I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I can pull off a song like that. I need an artist who can do that, and that's how Big D came in the picture. Because Big D is on the song as well. So I was like, Big D is the only person I feel who might could pull that sound off. And as I was just listening, and of course I already thought, yeah, Costello got to record us. That was already a no-brainer. And it was just something different, just about just doing a collab with people. I already have music, just my own solo music, but knowing that I was collabing with good artists, we been putting out the message. And when we got in the studio and we started working it was like, I made like 2 or 3 Afro beats. And like, I think the second one really stick. Everybody like it. We came here. Jordan put it together for us. We shot the video instantly. You know, like that's one problem that we always have. We'll make great music and only our friends that listen to it. We'll not get tired of the music before we put it out.
Right.
And he always, you know, my partner, my business partner always be like, hey, like we got great music, but we'll never execute. So literally when we left Jordan, I think I called Stan that night and be like, we shooting a video next week. And all of them were looking at me like, dang, Berg, like you about to, yes, we about to execute that quick. Because we gonna sit on it. You know, we gonna like it until we don't like it no more. Like, let's not play with it, you know, like, and it actually came together way better than I thought. Like, God been involved with that. Like, the numbers, the reaction.
Yeah, you're getting pretty good response from it as well.
Yes, that's God and me, y'all. That's God for real and me.
Yeah, and then I just saw another like clip. You're shooting another video already.
Yeah.
Which is sick, which is great. Because you got to keep putting content out, you
Keep
know?
on, yes.
Be in front of people's like faces, you know?
Got to.
What's the next song called?
My God is awesome. And that was crazy. You know, the revelation for that, I was actually me and the female I was talking to, we were actually listening to a prayer sermon on a song and kind of going through some things and stuff like that. And I heard it clear as day. Like, this wasn't even on my mind. It was like, shoot a video for My God Is Awesome. And I was like, it just came in my head. I'm like, you sure, God? Like, shoot the video for My God Is Awesome. You know, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. You know, and I was like, well, I need to lean on some money for somebody else. I'm going to call my homeboy. It was like, call your father. Now, me and my father's situation is we're trying to get there. But that would be the last person I would see, you know what I'm saying, when I asked for him. Not against some great dude, but that would just been the last person who I would think that I would call. And I heard it twice. It was like, call your father. And I didn't expect it, you know what I'm saying? But I called him. He shoot the money. And I was like, all right, God. You know, like, call Stan. Stan was like, he still had a deal going on. I mean, all this happened in 3 hours. Literally, from me getting that revelation, getting that money, next thing you know, we were actually shooting a video. Just like that, you know. So I take stuff like that, you know, that will make my faith walk even stronger, you know, just kind of confirmation and seeing things work out where I didn't even wake up with that on my mind that day, to be honest with you.
So, and that's where I'm getting at. Like, where did the faith from, you know, just relying in the music and the business and all of that, where, and you know, you were mentioning, you know, you were struggling with demons.
Yeah.
You know, if you care to, you know, mention that, that's, you know,
course.
that'd be fine. But like, when did that shift happen from, and what was the breaking point that you had that shifted you from believing in your music and you into God?
I think the God was already, I'm a granny child, you know, I'm a granny baby. And I might not, you know, my grandparents raised me. So, of course, I raised up in the church until about 8 or 9. Straight away, just like most people do. But around about 33 or 34, that's when I got to the tail end of my my addiction. You know, I was addicted to cocaine for a while. And around the tail end of it, I started noticing, you know, I was tired, you know, and I'm very a strong believer of what you speak on your tongue. And I actually got a book that I'm writing these things about. I don't want to promote the book yet, but, you know, the book is called I Thought It, Then It Happened. And I have 3 situations where I saw that when I started thinking about it. And the tail end of my addiction, I was on some stuff like, I'm tired of this, my day is numbered. I was seeing that. And I had a partner who was, which I'm not going to bring his name up, but he was like, I think I'm always going to do this. And I was like, no, I'm tired, my day is numbered. And literally once I started saying that, out the door, stop. I went through a situation, stop. Just like that, no rehab, no nothing. Same thing with my health problem. I had health problems for 20 years. I used to get these cysts all the time. So people didn't even know that. In the midst of why I'm making these beats and doing all this and all that, I used to have surgeries like twice a year, like go to sleep surgeries, for real. And I think I'm in your studio one time, you know what I'm saying? I done been in the studio a bunch of times. And when I went to Charlotte, I met this guy named Hollywood. And he put me on fasting. And the importance of fasting, like a lot of people don't know, like, you know, like just water fasting or fruit fasting, your body actually can heal itself. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
You already know. You already know the game.
I do once a month. You know, every year I go through a whole month.
So people don't know the importance of that. Like, you know, they always think about fasting spiritual, but you don't know your body is actually like it's on ER.
Right.
So you don't go. So when he go to sleep, the first thing he think about breaking down his food. So just put you go to sleep, ain't no food there. He was like, okay, Corey, you got this knee problem. You got some information there. Let's send some cells and send some stuff down there to chew that up and break that up. The longer you fasting, you're giving your body more opportunity to work on things. Because he ain't got to worry about breaking up food.
It also does like a reset as well.
Yeah. Reset,
like resets your entire body.
Reset everything. Get rid of the old cells, to choose the bad fats. Like it's a very great thing. And once I started fasting, I mean, I'm a fasting 10-day water fast, 14. Me and my business partner did like a 10-day, like I think we did a fruit fast or something like that. Like we were just like on it, you know, 10, 14 days. And in the midst of that, I had to have like 2 more surgeries because I still have some wounds on me, but I noticed that I wasn't getting new cysts. So I was like, oh snap. You know what I'm saying? And really the turning point on that, I had some doctors who was going to give me some medicine that they say that it was going to cut off my immune system, but that was all right. And I was like, no, that's don't sound right. I feel like they're trying to take me out. You know, and I never really shared that with nobody, but I just felt like they was going to take that. That don't make sense to me. This was mid-COVID. You telling me to turn my immune system off because they say my immune system was generating too much inflammation. So by cutting it off, it would stop the inflammation to go making these cysts. And I was just like, I don't think that's right. I never took the medicine either. Never took it, you know. And when I read about the fasting and how it helped the body, it actually did, you know, and helped me out.
That's cool. It seems to be a common theme with our podcast. We always bring up the gym. and like how important it is to
Oh,
mental health. And again, you've also been on a
yes.
health journey as well.
Yes,
And
yes,
you know, I
yes.
mean, tell us how important it is, man.
I mean, I started off walking. Walking was my thing. You know, I did like 2-3 miles a day. And I got down to about 232 pounds, and I was like, I don't really like how I look. You know what I'm saying? It was good. It was more skinny fat. And I had this dude in my head. He was like, listen, he was like, you know, the walking and the cardio is cool, but you need to lift train. You know what I'm saying? You need a muscle train. And once I did that, you know, I kind of bulked back up, but I liked how I looked. And I liked my confidence, you know. So I suggest to anybody, if you really want to get yourself how you really want to get, I would muscle train. Do a little bit of cardio, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? You can do a little 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but building muscle burn fats anyways. And a lot of people don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
You
like,
burn more
you know,
calories actually.
yeah, you
working
know,
muscle
so
than-
like,
yeah.
you know, and I used to tell females that I was like, hey, like, you lose weight, but you see your body parts sag. I was like, even with females, like, hey, like, you should lift weights. They think they could look like the Hulk or something like that. I was like, no, it's not gonna be like that, you know. But muscle burn fat. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying?
It
Muscle
burns it, and then you build the actual tone.
Right,
Like
you
it's
know,
so it's
so-
a process to it.
So that's why I'm at. And I love it, you know. So
That's
That's
dope.
what
Got
mine
any like PRs, anything you're, you know, like any records that you've broken recently, and you know,
in the
in
gym.
your lifting? Yeah, in the gym.
Yeah,
bro.
I mean,
You don't have to disclose it if you don't want to, you know what I'm saying? It's all good.
I mean, I feel like once you touch them 100-pound
Bro,
dumbbells,
you've been touching
you know
those
what I'm
hundreds.
saying?
Man,
Yeah.
listen,
I've seen some videos.
This
I've been
is
there,
foreign
too.
language to me. I don't go to the gym.
No, it's cool. Listen,
Just
once you touch
street
that
strength.
100, I got street strength too, but once you touch that 100, and I used to like push-ups how I started. Once you can say you can do 100 push-ups in a day, especially in one time setting, you know, those certain things that make you feel like somebody, you know, walking wise. Once you get your 10,000 steps, that's about 3.5, almost close to 4 miles. I
Right.
feel like something. But once you touch them 100-pound dumbbells, the first, like they just shine at you when you're in the gym. They're like, hey, if you at this mark, you a man, you know, and
That
that's how I
makes
feel,
sense.
you
That
know.
makes sense.
So
That
True
makes
story,
sense.
yeah.
you know, yeah. So just yes, like that's what that.
Would you say that the gym kind of helped your spiritual journey as well?
Mental more than
Like
spiritual?
mentally?
Well, discipline. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I always thought that anybody can lose weight. Take discipline to grow muscle. And that's a great clip to add. That's a
Nah, that
great.
definitely
Yes,
is.
because anybody, there's so many
Definitely.
different ways that but there's only one way you're going to build muscle, and that's by you training and have a discipline. So like of course, anything that's like attached to discipline when it comes to a man is going to make him better.
I was just about to say you can
know what I'm
apply
saying?
that.
Yeah,
You can apply
yes,
that
yes.
to every facet in your
anything,
life. Like,
you know, like
discipline.
When discipline come into it, that always takes a man to the next level.
That's true.
You know, so
Very true.
Yeah, that's a great.
That's
thing.
very true.
Yeah.
And setting those different boundaries. You're right.
Everything, yeah,
Nah, that's
everything.
true.
Like, and I always kind of had it. Like with beats, I had it because my first discipline was I told myself I was gonna make 4 beats a day, and I have 120 in a month. That's how I got my archive.
That's
like for a
crazy.
long time, you got Jordan. I always had an archive. Like my archives is finally like regular now, but I used to play around with like 200, 300 beats. Like just play. You know, like that was just my
like you just
norm.
pa-
Like,
hey,
hey, so I
you
can
get a
trap
beat,
out.
you
so,
get a beat,
Yeah,
you get-
hey, I'm the Oprah of beats. You know what I'm saying? For real. So,
Do you still
yeah.
pump out like 4 to 5 a day, or like?
Ooh, I wish. No, I could if I want to. I'm just more in a different headspace a little bit far as I think, and I hate to say it because I love YouTube, so y'all don't take me down YouTube. But the moment that an artist can really go on YouTube and just get a beat that easily,
I know.
it did something to my spirit a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It took the creativity fun, and there's some hard producers on YouTube. I'm not knocking them. Like you can find wherever you want, but it just took that. It took something away from me that I was like, I gotta stand out a little bit from the average producer because there's a 15-year-old kid who making beats like he's 45, you know, and like in a house somewhere just pumping out monster beats, and like I was like, I can't compete with that. I have to separate myself from that, and then that's why the gospel stuff means something. Because now it's like, okay, you can do that, but can you get on this mic? Can you put 4 people together? Can you make them go through the crowd thing? Can you call Jordan? Can you call? So I wanted to separate myself from that, and that's even from the producers around here. Like anybody can make a hard beat now, but it's like, what are you gonna do to stretch your name and make you the extra mile? And that's why I'm at.
makes sense.
You know, that's why I'm
Makes
at.
sense. Creating your own lane, pretty much.
Create my own lane, and also having multiple ties. Like
Right.
you know, like
Right.
I'm Mossberg, the producer. I'm like Jordan. I hear this now. I'm engineering a little bit. Now I have to be the artist. You know what I'm saying? Now I have to call the cameraman. Now I'm managing. Now I'm telling the cameraman to do this. Now I'm editing. I'm half cameraman. So it's like, what can you attach to your main thing that you're good to? I think anybody should do that. Once you real good at something, then you need to go ahead and put like some other things around it that help it. You can find employees, after a while, once it get too busy, of course, once my money get there, then after a while, I'd be like, all right, I have somebody do this. But like in the beginning, you got to wear like 4 to 5 different ties. You have to, and that's where I'm at. Like, that's where I'm at.
So with your spiritual journey now, like where are you at? Like as far as what's your next move spiritually and just as a man and growing into this new lane that you've created for yourself?
That's a couple level question, like far as music, life, or like
Everything.
Business.
That's a good question. Spiritually, I think every day, all right, in the spiritual journey, every day is just more walk with less sin. If I could take it there, you know what I'm saying? Everybody have sin. So let's say I have a list of 10 sins, you know what I'm saying? I wake up every day how I can make that list from 10 go to 7, 7 to 5, you know what I'm saying? Like that. That's why just life every day. Music, I'm running this gospel thing in a hole. I'm running it all the way in a hole. Like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get signed off this. You know what I'm saying? That's where my headspace at. Like
Is that the end goal? You want to get signed?
Yeah, I'm gonna go and get signed. And it's not really about how people think, the perks and all that. It's just about Charleston having somebody who has a connection to the industry. They really ain't even got to give me the bag. I'm not thinking about that like, getting $1 million just to have the engine. Let me get the engine and then let me put some of the right people in places. There's so many talented artists down here who don't get the spotlight. And nothing against the gate holders down here, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like they need a true gate holder who doesn't go off. I won't say necessary popularity because it does help, but there's actually some talent down here that gets overshadowed.
That's true.
And you need somebody who not saying my best friend Ross, let me put him on. No, that person should get an opportunity just because they work hard and they're talented and they invest in themselves. Yeah. And they need a chair holder, you know what I'm saying, to do that. And I want to be that chair holder. I want to be that person who doesn't show favoritism. My only favoritism that you're a hard worker and you're talented and you invest in yourself. I don't care who you is. I mean, you never had to work. I mean, you won't have to buy my beats. But if you invest in yourself, you're a hard worker, I can rock with you. And that's how I feel.
Okay. No, I dig it. That makes sense.
The music scene gets such a negative connotation when you're, trying to, like, let's say, sign to a label. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you think about that? I mean, like, what do you think about, like, a label literally owning you for 5-10 years and having to do pretty much everything that because if you're going to sign to somebody, they essentially own you.
Okay.
So are you prepared for that? Like, are you prepared to sign your life away for X amount of years?
I ain't gonna let them sign my life away.
Okay.
I'm going to, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not gonna speak that. I'm not gonna sign my life away. But if they want to take majority of my rights or something like that, if you're gonna take majority of my rights, then my grandkids should not even have to get a job. That's what I said now. If you're going to sit right there and say, I want 80% of what you got going on, my grandkids should be straight.
That makes
Give me that check.
Makes sense, yeah.
Give me that real check. You know what I'm saying? No $1 million and all that. Get me right. You know what I'm saying? Give me 60 mo, 70 mo. You know what I'm saying? And let me get a big building in West Ashleigh and be like, all right, we're going to do, let's say Reach Records. I like Reach Records. They do a lot of the Christian. That's why I'm Lecrae. Y'all done heard of Lecrae? Mm-hmm. So let's say if they really saw that I had going on and be like, outside of you being an artist and a producer, we see that you're an engine and you can work with other artists. Right. Give me a branch, my own branch in Charleston. Right. Give me an opportunity where y'all can see how I can move as an engine. Like, put that ball on me. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
like,
real dream. That's a real dream. That makes sense.
Yeah, like it's good for me to give me $1 million, but you give me $60 million a day, and I can really all right, I can pull in 20 artists, I can get some workers, I can do all this and all that. Like, let us have a label down here. We never had that, and if it is, they very low key. I don't know about it, but Charleston would change the moment that there's a big building down here and there's a record label down here. Yeah. Like that would just change all the way. Yeah, yeah. So that would be the end goal, to be honest with you.
No, that. All right. Yeah.
I feel like that's something that we've tried to create for many, many years, and I mean, that's definitely an avenue to get there. And
I think also now we need outside help.
Yeah,
we need outside. We can need somebody who did it before, so they can. I think the right workers down here, but. That's what Atlanta, that's the big thing Atlanta have. It's not about the help. They actually get to see the success.
And they have those players there.
Yeah, they have them players there. Like, it's like you see Gucci Mane in the mall. You see this, you see that. Like, we don't have that. We don't have that visual. Jordan, I can imagine if they were like a label, like a Def Jam CEO or something, but like, hey, Jordan, this is how you should do it. I've been doing this for 20 years. Jordan, you're run.
100%,
You know what I'm saying? You'll run. You know what I'm saying? We just don't have that like around the corner. So that's Charleston problem. It's not about artists don't work together. I think every small town has the same issues.
We
can if we wanted to.
There's
you
been
know what I'm
times
saying?
where the city has definitely
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Come
so
together.
that's not
Come
the
together,
problem.
for
And they
sure.
say, you know, and I hate people say the city don't support. Man, that's everywhere. People will support
Exactly.
you. Like it has nothing to do with artistry. Like there's somebody selling oil out here who's making a bunch
It's
of
just
money.
we don't have the infrastructure.
Right. That's true.
I just think certain people don't have the grind and just have it's their point of view. You know what I'm saying? If I'm a firm believer of this. If you can't get your hometown to buy your product, then you need to go back and work on your product. I'm not going for that hometown stuff don't support you, because there's so much other things that people are doing when the hometown is support. So they want to put it on hometown. I'm gonna put it like, look back at yourself and see if you have a product that the hometown want to buy. Because so many people want to talk, but they want to go to Colombia, they want to go to California and sell your product just because you might got 2 or 3 people say they like it out here. But look how much it's going to cost for you to go there and promote that product. So you're trying to tell me you can't promote this product in a 10-mile radius, wherever you stand at 10 miles, north, south, east, west. If you can't get 10, 20, 30 people to buy the product, something wrong with the product.
Yeah,
That's true.
but it's also like lack of knowledge as well. I mean,
Oh,
people,
yeah.
they'll go as far as, they'll pay for the studio time, get the video, but then just put it on their Facebook. Call it a day.
That's the
No
hard
marketing
part.
goes into it, no like planning,
Yeah, nobody
and they
know
expect to
about
blow up
marketing.
from that.
Marketing is
That's one of the most important parts.
It's one of the most important part, and one of the parts that I feel a lot of people don't have knowledge.
Yeah, because if you can't get it in front of somebody, then
Yes, and I'm still learning, so I
Nobody's
ain't gonna
gonna
put
know.
myself on a higher pedal, but I do know. I told this artist this. I said, hey, you got a bunch of contacts on your phone. You have cousins and you have people you went to school with. I was like, if I was trying to grow a fan base, at least all my cousins need to know I make music. Ain't no way all my favorite cousins, all my cousins start there. You know what I'm saying? Like your family should know what you're doing, one way or another. You know what I'm saying? And then after the family, your schoolmates. Just alone right there, that's probably about 20 or 30 people. Let them boy hear the songs. You know what I'm saying? Like work on that. Y'all think about all these other people, and then artists want to promote music to other artists. And I was like, why?
That's
You know
a
what I'm
lot,
saying?
yeah.
Like, why? Like he's trying to do the same thing that you're trying to do. He has no time to listen to your song because he's trying to grow it. Like, start off with your phone contacts and start off with your family and your friends.
do you think it's easier or harder to get your music noticed? Because I know back in the day, you'd be sitting at the gas station handing your mixtapes out, things like that, and it seemed like that was a more personal way for
Personal engagement.
Yeah,
that's
personal
true.
engagement. Now it's just you see like an ad on Facebook or Instagram of somebody's song, but you don't really have that real engagement.
I do much that.
But you do get it across to more people that way.
So are you kind of more asking me which one I feel better? Or
Yeah,
do I
like
must
do you think that what do you think is better? Do you think like the old model where is more personal engagement? You may not have 1,000 people watching. You might have, but you might have like 20 or 30
That's organic.
actual organic.
Yeah.
I think I'll answer it in a more complex way. I think there was a sweet spot when the street was still relevant, but internet was just new. Because now internet is kind of getting too oversaturated and like
Yes.
music like to repeat itself. But there was a sweet spot where you still could have been in the street, but the internet was just new enough that it wasn't cluttered.
And
So
then-
you could have do both a little bit, but like internet right now seems too cluttered. Like right now you got to drop some bands to really stand out because everybody doing it, you know?
Anybody can be anybody.
Anybody
or
can be anybody.
anything.
You can
like
you can make a whole the
whole
internet,
persona that's
yeah,
not credible or
That's what-
real.
Most of
or
those guys,
authentic.
man, that's just persona. That's not really them, I
Oh
mean,
yeah. Like
most social media is fake.
that stuff is
Credibility is
gonna crash in
going
a second.
all
Yeah, that stuff
down,
is
like-
going. That stuff is going to crash. Like music always kind of repeat itself. Like it's going to be some new avenue how somebody do something that's going to be new because the internet is just. You can be whoever you want to be on the internet, and now you can buy numbers. You can look like a
Yep.
superstar.
Yeah,
like
that's
it's crazy.
It's like it's kind of a form of like faking it till you make it.
Yeah, and I'm 50-50 on that. But once I started hearing some of my biggest artists that I know was kind of like adding numbers to the thing, I was like,
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
yeah,
I
most
heard-
of those big artists, they buy views, which
like
is
Beyonce.
crazy.
When they say Beyonce
That's
buy views,
crazy.
like why would Beyonce? But then I understand it a little. That's
No,
what we
it-
talk
yeah.
about, like. But Beyonce, why would she have to? But then again, I get it if she do it anyways, like.
Because well, I guess if you think about it, like they're gonna lose a certain amount at a certain point because like everybody's
life, yeah,
offended
yeah,
by
yeah.
everything.
But it's also that
so-
initial engagement as well. By having all
Right.
those views really quickly,
Yeah.
it boosts you up in the ranks of, say, YouTube. So anytime you go to YouTube and all of a sudden you say, oh, there's a new video that Beyonce dropped, half those views could be fake. but it's just to get more engagement. So when people go to YouTube, that's the first thing they see.
That. Now that's smart. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I don't like it because
I don't know.
I don't like it, but I see what makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't like
it. You just got like that. Just it's like you can buy your fame now. Like that does. It means that you're not even like. You can be an artist, but how good really is your art? How like do you really deserve it? You know, like if anybody can buy it, do you really deserve it?
I feel like this. I think when we talking about Beyonce right now, Beyonce has already got past that point of that she's that person. Right now, it's just money. It ain't about letting people know that I'm that artist. So money wise, Jordan made a point that I never thought about. If the first time I heard Beyonce got a song and I already run a YouTube and it got 10 million, I'm like, oh. And they could have bought 8 million. You know what I'm saying? But I see 10 million already, and 10 million in a half a day. You know what I'm saying? I'm already like, oh, that's a banger. So it's more of concept now. Like I'm thinking a little different now. And it ain't about her proving that she's hard or she's a dope artist. It's more about how quick is it going you to press like and buy this song? What can I do to make you buy this song faster?
Business.
You know what I'm saying? It's the microwave version of turning you to a fan and buying it. So 10 million views in 2 hours would make me want to stream the song a couple times and buy it compared to 10 million in a month. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it like that.
But I mean,
you know?
money's always going to make money.
That's
You know what I'm saying? Regardless, money's always going to make money.
That's a great quote. Yeah, money always going to make money. Yes.
very true.
Yeah.
That's very true. So that
Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, money is always that's dope. Yeah, that's dope.
I mean, it makes sense. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't. I don't like the fact of a person like just being able to buy their way in because it takes away the credibility of the people who with the talent who actually deserve the opportunity.
And then,
because back then you weren't able to be accessible like that. You feel me? Especially in the street, like giving out mixtapes and stuff like that. We didn't have that reach like that.
But also, back then, it wasn't going off of personality and like how viral this person could go.
That's true.
But it went off of more talent.
It was just straight
anything.
music. Yeah,
exactly.
like it was straight. Yeah, like
now
and I missed that. I missed that.
So now you could do something completely crazy, change your hair, do whatever else,
go viral.
and go viral overnight.
And go viral. Almost get a deal compared to
get a deal,
person
exactly.
got talent. So
yeah. What do you think? What do you think about AI, dude? How is it? Are you using it? I mean, like as a producer.
Oh, of course I'm using AI as a producer. yes. But yeah, it's tricky. AI.
You think it's a good thing? It's a bad thing? Like what?
I'm 50-50. You know, I'm 50-50. I feel like AI can help the world or destroy it.
Oh yeah.
You know, and a quick of a flip of a coin just like that. Like AI is amazing when it comes to searching or ideas or resumes. Like if you know how to use it, then it's great. But you also can use it to destroy, which I don't like. I hope it never gets a mind of its own and actually start operating on its own. Then we're going to have a whole different problem, but that's a whole different conversation later. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole conversation later. But far as a tool, it's a great tool. It's the ultimate tool, and I'm very, on a spiritual note, I'm very kind of keep my eye on that. But I don't really want to talk about that too much, but I'll keep my eye on that a little bit. But overall, I think it's a great tool to use, especially music-wise.
I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I get where it can come through in the clutch. Like
it's cool, but I will say it's literally made all of us more lazy.
Very.
For one, you can just ask something and then find the answer. Back then, you either had to go in
search.
a book or obviously, the internet.
Oh, I mean, yeah. But
what about like in fear that producers aren't going to be as relevant because I mean, you've seen how crazy it is.
Oh yeah.
You just type in a prompt. I want this kind of beat.
Oh yeah,
boom,
that's
and
right.
it spits it out.
We didn't use that before. Like
That's
but I think the supreme creators are always stay on top. And I know I'm one of them, Jordan, one of the scene. The supreme creators are always going to make a way how to adjust to the wave instead of, I'm saying, somebody always tell me like my problem used to be, I used to always want to go upstream instead of just flowing down. I'm saying? It's always going to be different waves. Always going to be different waves. So it's like AI is going to win shit. I had a problem when YouTube came, when you got all these people, but I was like, let me adjust to this. So now AI can do all this and all that. Let me figure a way to use it instead of fighting it. So
that's crazy.
I'm tired of fighting upstream, man. I'm gonna flow with the wave. Like if AI could do all that work, then that's fine. let me figure out how to be a creative and go around it, you know, do what I got to do.
Yeah, I know you tried the whole YouTube game and it wasn't really for you. So like, how are you getting your beats out there? Are you doing like BeatStars, or are you just like literally just word of mouth and you're just hitting up people that you've worked with in the past? Or
I'll be honest, the beat game right now and always been kind of up and down. It's not even really, I won't say it's not really strong with me right now, because it's like whatever the industry have going on, it fluctuate all the way down. So even when I kind of started the industry with the K-Dot and the Drake thing, like even though that was great, people didn't see at the outside how it stopped everything else. Seemed like nobody else wanted to drop. So that fluctuated all the way down. No other artists really wanted to drop while K-Dot and Drake had things going on. So if that ain't going on, placements ain't going on. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, then you got the local music is just a whole nother war on its own. But like, I love placements, honestly. Like, that's placements are sync, you know. So like, once I kind of saw that, I already imagined. I was like, okay, if the industry have this going on, they just talking about Drake and K-Dot, and I'm not seeing other projects going on. And then I think Def Jam or somebody just let go like 50 like small, like they let go a lot of people. You heard about that, right? So it's like, if you see the business that you in is feeling at a higher level, you have to kind of adjust a little bit. Like if they got that going on, that is going to eventually trickle down to the smaller people.
Right.
You know, so I would say if you're a producer right now, sync. We don't have the knowledge to sync, but sync. TV is killing. TV is killing music.
speaking of sync, you actually have a sync placement, Charlemagne.
Charlemagne,
right?
yes.
Yeah, well, like what? How did you get that? Like,
biggest check of my life.
yes.
Biggest check of my life, sweetest deal of my life. Oh my God, I wish I could just do it every day in my bed.
Yeah, right.
Real quick, what is sync? Can you answer that again?
Sure. So,
I think you can explain it better to me. Sync is basically when music is linked with television, correct? You know, when
Media,
music
yeah.
with your television and media. So it's basically any music that you're hearing in the background when you're watching your favorite TV program. That's what sync is. So
cool. So yeah, continue on with your.
Me and this artist around here, dope artist named Lil Boss, we made a song. I guess he has a great relationship with Charlemagne. Charlemagne played a song on the Breakfast Club. You know, they have a great relationship. So he shot me out.
Well, shout out to Charlemagne
and Lil Boss too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Lil Boss,
Lil Boss put the
yeah,
play
yeah,
together.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? He put the play together. And Viacom reached out to me and said that they were Charlemagne was doing his new show, and he needed just music in the background for his commercials, just plain and simple. It was instrumental, no vocals, no nothing. So you know, as we reading it, and I showed it to Jordan, it was like a 6-week campaign, 2,000 a week. So I was like, well, first I know it added up to 20. It was like a 10-week. It was like a 6-week, and then it continues to 4. But then I know I ended up getting $12,000. And then the funny thing about it, when Jordan was reading the contract, he was like, "Yo, they don't even want to own the beat." And I was like,
They
"This is
essentially
sweet."
rented the beat for 6 weeks or 10 weeks, and paid him $12,000
Easy.
just to rent it. So after the 12 weeks, it's his beat again.
I was
Which
like,
is
"This
crazy,
is." I was
yeah.
at my bed. You hear me? Let's podcast people. You hear me? I was sitting in my bed clothes all day. It's a lane that I need more information on, but it's this is a lane that could change your life, and I think every producer should find as much knowledge as they should about sync.
Now, I will say with sync that was pretty much bypassing publishing companies and going directly to the source.
Yeah, the source. Yeah.
If you were doing it the opposite way, where you're putting your music in for publishing, a lot of times you're going to get residuals off of that. You're not going to get a large sum. So the moral of the story is know somebody that knows somebody and get your foot directly in the door so you can bypass the publishing company and get that big check.
Yes.
No, man, that makes sense.
That
right?
makes
That-
sense. Like.
I would say you hop on it now before
I'm going to you
they
can ask my
already.
business partner. I didn't email him so much. He stopped emailing me. I was
Right.
like, I need this again. Like, you know, I need one of these once a month. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Right.
that's do the math. That's $144,000 a year. If I get just $12,000, I think that's about the right number. Yeah, like $12,000, just get one a month.
Right.
That's what I was just
Exactly.
thinking.
That's
Just
what's
one a
what-
month.
right.
Just one a month. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's crazy.
that put me over 6 figures. So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Nah, that makes sense, man. Like, so I mean, I guess like, what else? Like, you were speaking on. I know you said your spiritual journey, your weightlifting, You were about you're doing a book. That's the thing. It's the book that you were talking about.
I thought it didn't happen, and I basically touched on stories in my life when I went through certain like traumas and dramas, and how when I thought about that I wanted to escape the problem, and how I switched my mind frame, that I actually got out that problem. But also, I'm teaching people how I can work in reverse. For instance, when I was making beats, that's my third chapter. It was my music producer thing. So in that chapter right there, I speak on how I wanted to be the biggest in the city. And the key word I want you to keep is city. You know what I'm saying? So I said, I want to be the biggest producer in the city. And it happened. I got angry that I couldn't go bigger. And I started speaking like, man, nobody wants to spend no money on me. I don't like them, boy. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't make no beats. I should stop making beats. That happened. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed the power of my tongue and how I think really was affecting my environment. So I speak on that in that chapter, because that chapter showed how I rose to stardom, but then the same way of not appreciating it because I didn't even set my mind state higher. If I go back now and I'd be like, I'm going to be the biggest in the world or get on. I always said city. When I was young, I always just wanted to be the biggest in the city. I never say state. I never say USA. Like, I started to notice how important that was. I always said city. I got exactly what I want, and I wasn't satisfied. I got the name. Everybody knew Mossberg, Montana. I got it. But then I realized that I was upset because I didn't set my goals higher in the first place. I should have been I could have been signed with Gucci Man and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I was just thinking about the city. And then when I got upset, once I hit that ceiling, instead of just asking for more, I started downplaying it. And then I just watched God just for like, well, I'll take it back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna use it? No,
And I just watched that thing just trickle it down, and I'm just being more angry. And now I'm saying I don't want to make beats and now and then bump that. They ain't want to pay me. But I'm just speaking this at the same time. They ain't want to pay me. They don't like me. Bump them, boy. They don't show me no respect. All
Speaking it into existence. Yeah.
Where's that power, man? That's crazy.
Yeah. I thought it didn't happen. That's why I want to call my book there. You know, that's crazy.
Where did you get the name Mossberg, Montana, anyway?
Right.
It was a neighborhood name. Like this 2006 or 7. People just giving people names. You know what I'm saying? like so they give me this name. And I just kind of stick with it. I didn't think I was gonna be, you know what I'm saying, who I'd be right now. So it just, it was Mossberg. I think one of my homeboy put Mossberg. I put Montana because Montana was a famous thing. You had Digger B in Montana, everybody that. Well, I'm stuck with it is because when I made the tag, I didn't know it was going to hit that hard. You know what I'm saying? So when I made the tag and now everybody's saying it's like, dang, I can't even pull back from it now because I didn't expect it to go that far. You know, and I dipped from it for a while and went to Ayo Berg. Like, but something just was telling me, like, no, stick with, like, you built this. You know what I'm saying? Stick with Mossberg. So I kind of changed everything back to Mossberg, Montana because I built that. I built that with my hands. Corey built that. That's true. You know, so I was like, I'm not running from that. If you want to set my title, it is what it is. But I built this with my hand. This is mine. You know, so I'm sticking with it. You know,
And that's your brand, you know?
I'm a brand, you know. When I look like rebranding and all that, like, no, like, stick with it and make it better.
I feel it. That makes sense, man. Okay. So, anything, I mean, you've given all the motivation like that. Like, if you can't pick up something from here, I don't know. I don't know, man.
You ever thought about being a motivational speaker? I'm just saying, I mean.
It'll get there. I done thought about being a senator and all. You know what I'm saying? I done thought about all that stuff.
Yeah, man. I mean, you should start, speaking at places, and I mean.
I feel like this, like.
You got wisdom,
Nah, seriously, man.
For real, yeah.
And I'm not even gonna say that. I'm gonna just receive it. I was gonna talk. I was not even gonna talk against it. I'll receive it if that's what y'all feel like I should do.
For real, yeah.
Only thing I would add to that is I think I'm to the point that I'm tired of being a trick of many trades. I just want to master one. So it's a personal goal. I got to at least get to this beat thing. And then I can, like I said, maybe just that record deal, just to have it. I don't even care what the people say, as long as they ain't trying to rip. Once I get that, then I'll be like, complete, Corey. Next. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. So, I just don't want to be a trick of many trades. I'm pretty sure I got a long life ahead of me. I can do all that, but I got to reach this goal with this music stuff. I got to. You know what I'm saying? This is my passion since I'm a little boy. So, but once I get that, the door's open. Like, I might be a movie star and all that. Like, I'm open to all type of stuff. Yeah, like, y'all putting one of y'all movies. Like, for real, But I gotta get this one behind me. I got to. I've been doing this beat thing too long. I gotta really figure this one out. And I feel like I'm there. For some reason, I feel like I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really have that much fruit even in it, but mentally, I just feel like.
I can tell how hungry you are.
Yeah, like that hunger is back.
And
Everybody's saying like that
it
hunger is
feels
like,
very,
like my hunger is, and it's crazy because
natural.
I used to have fruit. You know what I'm saying? Of people buying beats and doing all this and all that. And really as successful as it look right now, but that, my grind just crazy right now.
Yeah.
Like I'm in lion mode right now. Like anything I'm a strike on it. Like, so I'm just going off my motivation, my energy right now. So.
Cool, man. Well, hey, man, I think that's probably going to be it for today. Appreciate you coming on. And
Appreciate
No
you.
problem, man. Shout out to you guys, man.
For real,
For
man.
giving me the opportunity to get on the show, man. I
We've
love
all
this,
been
man.
kind of in cahoots for a long time.
Yes.
This is a long time coming, I think,
yes,
for real.
Yes.
That's good. Thank you for coming for real, man.
Man, no problem.